To a really cool spot here called Punto Conejo, and it's a total shithole.
It sounds a lot worse than it really was.
What that was?
It was the truck.
Think so?
Yes, I watched it.
And so now for the rest of our trip, we're gonna be like this through Baja. So our next stop will be on the Pacific coast, out in the middle of nowhere, where a large swell for surfing is supposed to arrive. And we break more stuff.
Many towing systems can bind and are difficult to use. Now, the system we have is called the Nighthawk, and it's made by Roadmaster. If you use the code OUTSIDE, they are gonna hook you up with a free upgrade kit.
Right here. In the kit, you're gonna get 2 great upgrades. I think they're about $100 worth of value, whatever. You'll get actually a towing system cover. A new bag to cover up.
That is gonna come in handy.
This is a nice way to keep the sun and the grime off of there. What I think is even better on this kit though are these 2 new handles. These are the latch pins, which actually go over here into the latch portion of the Nighthawk or whatever tow bar you have. It just goes in here, right like that, and it allows you to lock it up to your vehicle. What's nice about these guys is it has these big oversized rubber handles, which
these
compared to
are the old ones.
Yeah, so this is definitely a lot easier to get in and out.
I would imagine it would be much easier like when it's really cold outside. Because the old handles, they're just slick and they're completely metal. And the new ones, it's got like that rubber coating on it, so you can just like grab it and yank if you have to.
Yeah, so thanks to Roadmaster for setting this up. I think it's a pretty cool value for any, not all viewers are gonna have a motorhome or need a towing system, but if you have a motorhome, you want to tow your vehicle, this Nighthawk, and like, I'll throw some B-roll here. You can see some of the places we've taken this bar through. It's ridiculous, and we're towing, this is a full-size Dodge Ram.
Yes, and it's not an empty truck. We treat our truck as if it is our garage. We have all of our outdoor equipment on there. We have tons of Tucker toys in there. We've got surfboards and a kayak on the roof. I mean, this is a heavy truck.
The Nighthawk has definitely been up to the task of dragging it behind the motorhome and done a good job in the process. South of Loreto, the highway veers back across Baja, back towards the west coast, and you go through the mountains again. But these mountains, though, are very, very, I thought, very beautiful. All of the mountains are beautiful, but this is kind of cool. These have had a lot more cacti and just more greenery on them.
Yeah.
And again, some windy mountain roads, but it's very scenic, very pretty. And for us, we just took our time. We drove safe and slow, and it was a pleasurable mountain experience.
We pulled over a couple times. I remember, so you could drone and Nutmeg could run around.
Yeah, we did pull off. There was a cool spot. We found a nice big turnoff. It was it was a nice drive.
Yeah. Please drive.
Zombie baby. It's our new trick. There it is. Luckily, we had this book with us right here. Surfer's Guide to Baja. And it gave us the mile markers. And had we not had that, we definitely would have missed our turn. So we're going to Punta Conejo. Translates into Rabbit Point. It's a point on the Pacific coast where it's one of the few places in Mexico, or in Baja Mexico, where you can surf left-handed waves. Most of Baja Mexico is all right-hand waves for surfing, and this is one of the few spots where for people like me who prefer left-hand waves can score some lefts. So we wanted to check it out, but
there's nothing there. I mean, you probably won't find it on a regular map of Baja. It is a very basic camping area, essentially strictly for surfers. There's no other reason to go out there.
Hey everybody, guess where we are? We just got to the last part of our travels for a week. We got to a really cool spot here called Punto Conejo. And it's a total shithole. Right now, there's this trash and junk everywhere and this derelict old sign that you can hardly read. But we saw that sign when we were searching for surf spots, and that sign means we're in the right spot. So Punto Conejo is 10 kilometers down a dirt road. We have about an hour of daylight, and I think we're going to get there in time tonight to get set up before dark, which is really cool. Now we're going off-road. We're going to crack a cold beer, drive down a dirt road, and check out the Pacific Ocean, finally. There's just trash and crap everywhere out here. Such a freaking dump. It's sad. I'm not laughing because I like it, but just we've seen a lot of this down here. It's just sad and not much you can do about it.
There's a good sized sign, but the paint is all faded and it is just covered with stickers. People have tagged the heck out of that sign.
Why all these artists leave their stickers on signs down here?
So we tagged it with our sticker and then proceeded to drive down the road.
And that road was 10 kilometers of just windy washboard. In fact, a couple times I thought, we probably shouldn't be out here. We never got to the point where like it was super soft and we were gonna get stuck. But I could see up ahead and I knew to kind of get our speed and we would just cruise right through it.
Yeah, it was just a one-lane dirt road, nothing. I mean, you couldn't see anything ahead of us or behind us. I even, at one point, I had to take Tucker out to breastfeed. I just left him out, let him ride with us, because we're going maybe 10 miles an hour.
And out in the middle of nowhere, and yeah, it's crazy that luckily there's very few people besides us go out there. So you're not gonna get two cars to pass, let alone an RV and a car to pass. We're just bopping down the road, and I think we had some reggae music going, and
I'm sure we did.
As we got near the beach, we're like, yeah, all right, finally, Pacific Coast. We hadn't seen the Pacific Coast this whole trip. Finally, Pacific Coast. But I was super excited because we knew that this meant good waves. We're cruising, and I actually found on those washboard roads, I initially was driving like grandpa. It's real slow, maybe 4 miles an hour. And we had, I think, 10 kilometers, is what, about 7 miles or so, 6 miles. And it's like, you know, it's gonna take forever to get there. I found if I went about 10, 15 miles an hour, that actually kind of like, you kind of ride the ridges and it was just gonna be a little bit smoother. It's still rough.
Yeah, but I mean, not that much more rough than any of the other roads we've been on. It sounds a lot worse than it really was. Everything's rattling. Just package everything in your RV if you're gonna drive through Baja, because everything will rattle.
But in hindsight, I think I would have preferred to have driven slower, because halfway to the beach, all of a sudden we came like over this little hill into a trench and back up, and we're dragging. That wasn't good. Oh, that was?
It was the truck.
Think so?
Yes, I watched it.
Did it collapse and go in and back out? We damaged the RV again.
We about broke our tow bar, and that is hard to do.
What happened, the RV went over this hill down into this little trough, and as the RV went back up, we had this 5,000, 6,000 pound truck coming down still, and like the RV had slowed down and was going up, the truck was still going fast, and all that momentum took the truck, just shoved the tow bar. I don't know how much force that would be, a 6,000 pound truck going 50 miles an hour, coming to almost to a stop. So when you're towing, it's supposed to be like this. Yeah, here's your tow bar, here's your truck, and now the tow bar is
So I mean, it still worked.
And with that in mind, it wasn't our tow system that failed, it was actually our little adapter on the RV hitch that actually bent and failed. So the towing system, I gotta give it credit.
Oh, yeah.
The Nighthawk tow bar we have, it held tough and did its job, and it kept on ticking. And so now for the rest of our trip, we're gonna be like this through Baja.
Which, I don't know, it kind of just helped us blend in a little bit more.
So we slowed our pace down. I think it was beautiful and ugly at the same time. It was just a big old barren desert and some waves down below, so it was kind of just barren and ugly, but at the same time it was beautiful in the fact that like there's nothing out there.
Yeah.
A view in 10 miles in each direction of just wilderness and desert coastline. The next morning, as the sun came up, we got our first good view of the area, and the waves were just down below us, hitting the point. It was beautiful. Lots of bird activity. There was a fishing camp below us. These little like fishermen shacks. So it looked very, very primitive. And the fishermen would get up early and they'd go out in their boats and go fishing. That was a pretty cool little spot.
Yep, we most of the actual camping spots were down on the beach because of our rig and the road leading down to those spots. We weren't able to go down there, unfortunately, but so we were up on the bluff next to one of the towers, or the only tower in the area. So we could look down and see everything. That was pretty unique, but we had to drive down to the beach, which was kind of the only downfall.
Well, we made it. We got to Punta Conejo, and it's a pretty cool spot. After that wild ride down a dirt road to get here, there's a beautiful beach we go to in the mornings, and in the afternoon the wind picks up, so we surf in the morning, margaritas and sunsets in the evening.
You can find some of our earlier Baja videos over here. The next video in this series is right here. You can find out more information on our website as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.